Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhamati Naistiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 19, Text 15. Vrikshne Svashule. I'm sorry, Vrikne. Vrikne Svashule Bahudarina Harehe. Vrikne Svashule Bahudarina Hare. Pratyetya Vistirnam Uraha Vibhutimat. Pratyetya Vistirnam Uro Vibhutimat. Pravriddha Roshaha Sa Kathora Mushtina. Pravriddha Rosha Sa Kathora Mushtina. Nadan Prahritya Antaradhiyata Asuraha. Nadan Prahrityantara Diyata Suraha. Vrikne Swashule Bahudarina Hare. Pratyeta Vistirnamuro Vibhutimat. Pravriddharosha Sakathora Mushtina. Nadan Prahrityantara Dhiyata Suraha. Vrikne Swashule Bahudarina Hare. Pratyetya Vistirnamuro Vibhutimat. Pravriddharosha Sakathora Mushtina. Nadan Prahrityantara Dhiyata Suraha. Vrikne, when cut. Svashule, his trident. Bahuda, to many pieces. Harina, by the Sudarshana Chakra. Harehe, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Pratyetya, after advancing toward. Vistirnam, broad. Uraha, chest. Vibhutimat, the abode of the goddess of fortune. Pravriddha, having been increased. Roshaha, anger. Saha, Hiranyaksha. Kathora, hard. Mushtina, with his fist. Nadan, roaring. Prahritya, after striking. Antaradhiyata, disappeared. Asuraha, the demon. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Bhajarana Arvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. The demon was enraged when his trident was cut to pieces by the discus of the personality of Godhead. He therefore advanced toward the Lord and, roaring aloud, struck his hard fist against the Lord's broad chest, which bore the mark of Srivatsa. Then he went out of sight. Please repeat the translation. The demon was enraged when his trident was cut to pieces by the discus of the personality of Godhead. He therefore advanced toward the Lord and, roaring aloud, struck his hard fist against the Lord's broad chest, which bore the mark of Srivatsa. Then he went out of sight. Purport. Srivatsa is a curl of white hair on the chest of the Lord, which is a special sign of his being the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Vaikuntha or in Goloka Vrindavan, the inhabitants are exactly of the same form as the personality of Godhead. But by this Srivatsa mark on the chest of the Lord, he is distinguished from all others. Thus ends the Bhakti purport and translation to Canto 3, Chapter 19, Text 15 of Srimad Bhagavatam. Homagyanatimirantasya ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणि प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Here we see Lord Varahadev and the demon Hiranyaksha being engaged in a serious fight, because at one point Hiranyaksha, the entire history began with Hiranyaksha uh, taking up the entire earth planet in his hand, rolled it as a mat, and took it with him to Patala. And he dumped it in the Garbhodaka ocean. So then the Devatas were concerned and they offered prayers to the Lord for protection, and the Lord obliged the devotees' prayers. And in response, the Lord appeared as Varahadev from Lord Brahma's nostrils, to assure, not only assure protection, to actually give protection. And therefore, this entire fight on behalf of the Devatas or the Suras or the devotees of the Lord. So one may wonder, when even universal cataclysms can be arranged by the Lord, why the Lord has to come and uh, make this fight? And why should the fight become so serious? Should the Lord really require to physically fight with somebody? Actually, not required. As I said, there are so many ways of bringing about death in a person. So Lord need not personally involved to bring about the death of somebody. As in a normal case, one has to physically fight and by his might he has to conquer the other person. For the Lord, there is no such requirement. So he can, if he decides to kill somebody, he has unlimited ways to vanquish that person. Now, we all know how Corona has brought about mass killing in this earth planet. So many ways are there. The heartbeat stops. Hmm? Not necessarily that because the heart pump being a machine, sometimes you may wonder that how young people die out of heart attack. So it's not the machine failure or heart failure, but they say heart failure. They will write in the report heart failure. So ultimately, the entire machinery is in the control of the Lord. Otherwise, just like you, it's like you're taking a new machinery and it collapses, it fails. How can it fail? In the depreciation is not over, so how it is failed. So that's why there is a fifth factor in the Bhagavad Gita. Lord Krishna explains in the 18th chapter. Hmm. Adhishtanam tata karta karanam cha pritak vidam vividascha pritak cheshta daivam chaivatra panchamam. So Lord Krishna says that there are five factors of action. Adhishtanam, karta, karanam, vividascha pritak cheshta, daivam. These are the five factors. Adhishtanam means the place of action. It also means the situation. Place of action is not necessarily limited to the physical location as such. It also means creation of the circumstances to bring about a certain result. Because so many configurations have to come together for a work to happen, for anything to happen. So the right situation, sometimes we say right time you should strike, do the right thing at the right time. So like that. So that, but who's going to bring that right time and right situation and right opportunity? Make hay while the sun shines, but the sun should shine first of all. Hay might be there, but if the sun does not shine, then what can you do? What can we do as human beings? We can't do much. Sun by his own grace has to rise up. He will rise up, but then it is his grace by the dictation of the Lord. That is described in the Upanishads. That because of the fear of Vishnu or Krishna, the sun is actually shining and giving forth heat and light because of the fear of Vishnu. Moon similarly is giving cool rays, emitting cool rays because of the fear of Lord Vishnu or Krishna. The wind is blowing because of the fear of Lord Vishnu. The rivers are flowing because of the fear of Lord Vishnu. In other words, just like in a company, so long the chairman is there, everybody, normally speaking, everybody is up to their work. The chairman is not there or in the helm of the affairs, there's a possibility that there can be some kind of uh, the people may be relaxed. They may not take it very seriously, their assigned duties. The chairman is alert, then everybody is alert. Out of fear, they will be working. One element of fear. One element of fear is always there deep in the heart. Oh, somebody is observing me, somebody is monitoring me. I have to report to somebody. So that little fear element is there. So that fear element is because of the fear of Lord Vishnu and Lord Vishnu's agent called Kala. So, uh, so therefore, adhishtanam. So for anything to happen, the Lord has to create the situation. We may endeavor, but it may fail. We may make so many plans, but all those plans don't lead to fruition. We are not able to fulfill all our plans. We have so many plans. Every day we plan. Everybody is planning. Some are successful, some are unsuccessful. Those who are successful become recognized in the world. Those who are not successful are left out in the world. But they tried their best, but still their plan didn't succeed. Even if they have a very clear plan, it may not succeed if the Lord doesn't sanction. This is a fact. So, so the situation has to be there, the right time, the right opportunity. So that is adhishtanam. Tatha karta. Karta means the performer, the oneself who's the person involved in that act. Karta, the doer. Karanam cha pritak vidam. Then, okay, I may plan, I may desire. But to execute that, I require senses. Karanam. I require senses to act. Hands, legs, 10 working senses. And to direct them, we require the mind. So, karanam cha pritak vidam. Then daivam, vividascha pritak cheshta. The fourth one is vividascha pritak cheshta. Cheshta means endeavor. Vividascha means varieties of endeavor. One effort may fail. We may try one way, it failed. Most of the times, we always declare, okay, it's failure. Mission closed. So that's generally a normal person, common man. But there are varieties of endeavor. One door is closed, another door, another door, another door. But for us to recognize that door also requires intelligence. We have to get that idea. Okay, this route didn't work. This idea didn't work. Okay, another idea, another idea. It is not easy to produce ideas. The mind is a thought factory, idea factory. But it is not the same in everyone. Some people don't get any ideas. What can be done? Even the best of the persons who get brilliant ideas, actually he is getting. That's all. So he is successful, he is recognized. He is appreciated. He is getting. We say out of the box thinking. What? How he thinks, Prabhu? Bewildering, astonishing, mind-boggling. But he himself does not know how he is getting the idea. He is getting, he is successful. Suppose the mind stops producing ideas. What can we do, you tell me? Can't do anything actually. Sometimes we say you can undergo training, mind exercise, this, that. No doubt that works to some extent. But there's one final factor. Otherwise, none of these things will work. Our karma also limits to our ideas, idea production. Anyway, so in the case, as far as cheshta is concerned, so varieties of endeavors, efforts. And finally, daivam, panchamam. The fifth factor is daivam, the Supreme Lord. So with all these factors, suppose you have the best of ideas and you are healthy, senses are all active, mind is directing, very good ideas, very good planning, right situation, opportunity. The Lord doesn't sanction, nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. It's a 100% fact. If the Lord doesn't sanction, nothing will move. So even this in this Leela, if you see Hiranyaksha, sometimes this question always comes up. Why is it that the demonic force is becoming more powerful than the devotee force or the Sura force? Why? By the will of the Lord only it is happening. It is not that Asura is becoming powerful by his own strength. Even Asura becoming stronger is not by his strength, by the Lord's sanctioning. This has to be noted. Sometimes we see the demonic force increasing, terrorism increasing. Sometimes we get very disturbed. So what is the Lord doing or what is happening in the world's situation today? That's why Prabhupada very clearly said, if the Lord doesn't sanction, even though they may have nuclear bomb, they will not get the intelligence to push the button. It is right there only, no? Button is right there in one conversation. It's a very famous conversation. The nuclear weapon, one button, entire earth is blown out. Entire earth is blown out. This is done 1960s only it is ready. How many years have passed? 60 plus years have passed, isn't it? More than all our lifetime sitting here. None of us are 60 plus years. Still 60 years have passed. Brilliant brains. Still that fellow is not getting the intelligence to push one button. Prabhupada says it will never happen until Krishna wills. Krishna must will, even to destroy the earth, even to destroy somebody. Sometimes So something Dakshin Kanda, you see sometimes, sometimes they do some pujas to destroy somebody. Even that, without the Lord's sanction, nothing is going to happen. The why Lord sanctions, that's a different study and reasoning which we have to analyze. That apart, but I'm saying to the point, for the present context, the Lord doesn't decide, even asuras cannot become powerful. They are powerful by the will of the Lord, ultimately. Although it is not the Lord's plan, but by the sanction of the Lord, but it may not be the Lord's desire and liking. Just like sometimes the children may do something to the dislike of the parents. That might be there, but you cannot accuse the parents for that. See your child, how he's behaving. But that's not the mistake of the parents. That's not the parents' upbringing or the parents' training or the parents' wish that the child behave like this. But because some freedom is there, the child has misused that independence to go astray, to misbehave. Okay. The parents have sanctioned, like Prabhupada gave the example of suppose the son is smoking cigarette. It is not that father has told, but still nothing stops him from smoking. And he's smoking. So you cannot blame the father. So like that, the demonic forces say that Lord is allowing. Yes. Finally, if you ask the fundamental question, Prabhu, Lord has sanctioned. No, Devam Chavatarma. Yes, Lord sanctioned. Hiranyaksha's atrocities, Lord sanctioned. But the consequence also he has to face for this kind of demoniac activities. Consequence cannot be reversed. They have to face. But in the case of the devotee, the Lord personally involves and protects the devotees. And for the devotee, there is no plan. It is the plan of the Lord. Hmm. As far as the devotee is concerned, it is only endeavor. The decision, he is very clear. If the Lord wills, it will happen. Lord does not willing, it will not happen. Whatever all said and done. Hmm. And he is prepared mentally, in the soul level, in the consciousness level. When the Lord wills, everything will come in place. The Lord doesn't will how much ever effort you put. That becomes parishrama. That's what we see typically the karmis, materialistic people. Typically, their endeavor is called parishrama. The devotee's endeavor should not be parishrama. That's what Rupa Goswami says, uh, atyahara, over endeavoring. We have to endeavor in devotional service, but not over endeavor. Now, what is over endeavor for one devotee to another devotee may differ. What is over endeavor for me may not be for you. It may be a very small thing for you, but it may be a mountain for me. For me, it may be like moving a mountain, but for you, it may be moving a small piece of stone. Like Hanuman, if it will carry Sanjeevani, he'll carry off. For him, there's no difficulty. He just lifts up. You tell me I'm ready, he is saying. For us to move on stone also, our life is over. So, it's like that. So, we can only desire to serve the Lord. And that's what only Krishna is expecting from us. And how much Krishna wants from us, he will decide. What Krishna wants from us, he will decide. Or the Acharya, they will decide what they want to take from us. We just render our seva. That's all. Left up to them how they utilize us. But we have to be prepared for it in our consciousness. So our preparation is consciousness preparation. We're ready to serve the Lord. That's all. How the service is going to come, how it will happen is Lord's will. Same thing with protection also here. The Devatas are panicking. Actually, pure devotee does not panic. Even in the case of danger. Most dangerous situation, he doesn't panic. The symptom of a pure devotee. Of course, we're not pure devotees, so we may panic. We may have to run around here, there, that is there. But we are sadhakas, we are training and trying to become a pure devotee. Under the guidance of a bona fide pure devotee, Srila Prabhupada. But when we actually become pure devotee, there is no reason for fear. Because Kunti Maharani says, death is also Krishna. Kunti prays, she says, right? Death is itself Krishna. Krishna is Krishna. Life is Krishna. Death is also Krishna. That is Kunti Maharani's realization. Danger is Krishna. Vipada santuta shashvat tatra tatra jagat guru. Bhavato darshanam yat syad apunar bhava darshanam. Kunti Maharani prayed to Krishna. Danger is Krishna, and she is welcoming danger. We avoid danger. Everybody avoids danger. For a pure devotee, there is nothing like danger or no danger. Everything is, he perceives everything in a Krishna conscious perspective. He has a Krishna conscious perspective towards everything. And he knows, Daivam Chaivatra Panchamam, the ultimate will of the Lord is always prevailing over everything else. Why should I fear? My Lord is there. Out of his control, nothing is happening, no? Snake is biting me. The Lord is willing. Not that you go to the snake, okay, please bite me. That is foolishness. You take a snake and then make it sting on your skin. That is foolishness. But it happens to be the snake bites you. What can be done, you tell me? Should we become afraid? Should not become afraid. The snake is also Krishna. The sting is also Krishna. The poison is also Krishna. That's why Prahlad Maharaj, even though when he was put into, a place amidst full of poisonous snakes, he didn't panic. Ambarish Maharaj, when Durvasa Muni created a demon, and the demon was rushing towards Ambarish to kill him, he didn't run away. But when Sudarshana, in protection of Ambarish, started chasing the demon and cut off the demon, said in no time, and then started chasing Durvasa, he was running for his life. He went up to even Vishnu Loka, Kailasa, Brahma, all three murtis he met. Finally, he has to come back to the devotee to be saved. Ambarish Maharaj had to offer nice prayers, satisfying Sudarshana. Imagine, even without seeking, there is so much protection for the devotee. Even without seeking. Bhagavatam says that the Lord already knew the future course, and the future course of Durvasa Muni, what he's going to do to his devotee. So in advance, he has kept Sudarshan Chakra. Yeah. Like that, there are many, many stories. This is one story from Bhagavatam. Many, many such instances there in advance. The Lord makes arrangement for protection. We don't know, we don't see. We are blind. We can only see this vision now. So, our vision is very limited. Physical vision and even the spiritual vision is also limited, how the Lord is protecting. And we think protection from our calculations. We have our calculation of what is protection and what is danger. Lord has his calculation of what is protection and danger, and when to give that and when he need not extend protection. Lord knows the best. Still, parents, they know the best for their child. Still, Lord knows the best for all his amshas. We are all Krishna's part and parcel. So that confidence, Rakshayistiti Vishwasaha, so is our work as a sadhaka. Complete confidence upon the Lord's protection. Daivam Chaivatra Panchamam. Lord's will. And even to appreciate Lord's willing. Sometimes we don't agree. No, Lord, it has to be like this only. So the disagreement in the Lord's willing. Our disagreement with the Lord's willing. Lord wants this to happen. But we don't know better this happen. So that is why our Acharyas taught us, Prabhupada taught us. How a devotee should lead his life in this world. As a matter of devotional service, we make all plan. Janmashtami is there, Rath Yatra is there, we make all the plan, any service, even karmi is also for that matter, nothing to do with devotee, non-devotee. It's a universal system of devotional service. Nothing to do with full-time devotee or not a full-time devotee, nothing to do with any of these things. It's a system. So, as a matter of duty, we do all our seva, planning, thinking. After that, we leave it to the Lord. That's why Krishna said, Karmanya Madhikaraste Ma Paleshu Kadachana. Leave the result to me. Don't be attached. So, we have to see how to apply this principle in our life, practically as devotees. Protection also, same thing. We do all our best. We may have security, we may have police, even we may have to the point of having gun also, if need be. Beyond that, leave it to the Lord. Why devotees die in an airplane crash? How it can happen? Devotees do get protected also, no? So devotees do die also. Both ways are there. Prana is Krishna. Krishna's property. It is actually his property. Why are we concerned? Actually, the asset is Krishna's. You and all of us are Krishna's asset actually. Life or death, actually, it is Krishna's asset. Why is the Amsha being more concerned than the Purna? You think the Lord does not know anything better does not know better? He knows the best. We have our calculation. If this happens, good. If this doesn't happen, bad. Lord has his plan. So the devotee gives up to the plan of the Lord or the Acharya. Then we'll be very, very peaceful and very relieved. Very relieved. And we're recognizing the will of the Lord. That is very important principle in devotional service. To recognize the will of the Lord than my willing to do something or not to do something. Either way. So constantly we have to wait for direction from the Lord or the Acharya. And Prabhupada says, more we are purified, you may get even direct indications. That depends on our purity. In that final order, when I was reading those days, many years back, I remember one conversation, last portion of the final order, that one devotee is asking Prabhupada, how do I get guidance when you're no more in the world? Prabhupada said, my books are there, my directions are already there. He has written a lot of letters, right? Lectures. But then the devotee was very particular. No, but if I want a particular guidance, a specific thing, this is exactly what the opposite camp they're arguing all the time. You require a living guru. Should I be a grahastha or a brahmachari? Should I do this service or that service? How do I know that Krishna exactly wants this from me today? Or for the next 1 year or for the next 5 years? This is what Krishna exactly wants. How do I know? Temple president has decided. How do I know that Krishna wants that? Or a temple commander has put the list. How do we know that Krishna wants that I should be doing pujari service today or cooking service or whatever? So, of course, in this conversation, Prabhupada gives a different answer. Prabhupada says that because the devotee is very specific about direct indication. Prabhupada said that depends on your purity. You will get direct indication also. Otherwise, Prabhupada also made an equally relevant statement, absolute statement. I have created this ISKCON organization and you will get direction from this organization. That is Prabhupada's transcendental system he has created. And because the Lord and the Lord's devotee are absolute, what principles they create also, it's absolute. So that means we will get direction of Krishna through the Guru Parampara and the Acharyas and through the organization. So it's not a material organization. ISKCON is not yet another organization. If you see in Register of Society, our ISKCON in Karnataka we registered in Register of Society. Of course, HKM we registered independently also we are registering. Millions of trusts, millions of societies, we are one among them? No. It's a transcendental creation. Transcendental creation. This organization. Everything which happens in the organization is completely transcendental and absolute. But that requires realization. Not easy. That requires realization to perceive or appreciate. So we have to work on that. Anyway, so finally we see the will of the Lord. Then we'll be very, very satisfied and very peaceful, very happy. The Lord is in full control. Nothing to fear. See, Devatas actually were afraid. But actually there is no cause for being afraid. One is a pure devotee. There's no cause for being afraid. Prahlad Maharaj never showed, he was never afraid, showed any symptom of fear. Ambarish Maharaj, all pure devotees are always successful in the test by the Lord. They're always successful. So here, but Devatas are not in that level. The Lord personally comes to protect. And so why should he physically fight? To create a episode. That's why. Otherwise, sitting in Vaikunta, he can, you know, close his chapter. Sitting in Vaikunta. He can close his Ayush. Sometimes we see, in hospital, if you take off the oxygen tube, person is dead, no? That's all right. Sometimes it happens. So like that, basically oxygen in one level understanding. Prana is running through this entire system. The prana goes out, it's like a oxygen, mask. You take out the oxygen mask, the fellow is dead, no? In ICU. Like that, if the prana is taken out, finished, no? So Lord need not come. So to create a Leela, and there are many, many intricacies are there in this Leela to create a, very adventurous Leela, not just a normal Leela, adventurous, breathtaking Leela, to create that kind of experience. It's all there in Vaikunta and even in this world. This world, different kinds of Leelas, spiritual one are different, yet different kind of Leelas happen. So the fighting Leela is only in the material world, not in the spiritual world. So that makes it very interesting. The Lord fights with the demons on an equal level, and in that way give confidence to the devotee community. So for the Lord, it's nothing. That's why if you see um, in this fight, because the Lord is playing the role of a living entity, particular species, he's making it more interesting. Otherwise, in one blow, if he dies off, there is nothing of an adventure there. So strong fight, and the emotions of the devotees are increased. And Brahma will pray. Many times we see when Hiranyakashipu's case also, Brahma says, "My Lord, it's the right time. Please don't spare him. Finish him off. Finish him off. Don't delay." Very dangerous. What he doesn't realize is, for the Lord, it is nothing. Hiranyakashipu or Hiranyaksha is a fig. There's no danger. Because sometimes the Lord also takes a blow. So then the Devatas become concerned. Oh, Lord is getting a blow also, my God. So the Devas become concerned. Devatas become concerned. But for the Lord, it is to create an episode. That's all. There's no danger from anybody. Danger also to create is Krishna only is the danger. Where is danger? Separate danger. Therefore, Bhagavatam says, Bhayam dvitiya abhiniveshataha ishad apetasya viparya mukaha. If you forget the Lord, then only danger. Or in other words, you forget the Lord, that forgetfulness only is the danger. There is no danger otherwise. Anyway, so here the demon was enraged. Because why he got enraged? Because the previous verses say, when Hiranyaksha hurled a trident with all his might, the flying trident shone brightly in the sky. That was the previous verse. The personality of God, however, tore it to pieces with his Sudarshana disc, which had a sharp-edged rim, even as Indra cut off the wing of Garuda. So because his trident was cut to pieces, naturally, Hiranyaksha was, incited with anger that you have cut my trident to pieces with your discus. So he again advanced towards the Lord, roaring more loudly, and this time striking with his fist against the Lord's chest, which bore the mark of Srivatsa, and then it disappeared. So the Lord will not strike him back, because it disappeared, no? And Prabhupada, the purport makes one major point. uh, Hiranyaksha struck the Lord's chest, which bore the mark of Srivatsa. So, Prabhupada says Srivatsa is the mark of, it's actually white curly hair on the chest of the Lord, which is uh, the resting place of Lakshmi Devi, and which is an indicator that he is Narayana or Vishnu, not Jiva. Because in spiritual world, in Vaikuntha Loka, not only the Lord, even all the devotees of the Lord, Jivas in Vaikuntha Loka are four-handed, like the Lord. And bore, they also bear Shankha Chakra Gada Padma in their four hands. So how do you identify Vishnu from the other Jivas? By the Shivatsa mark. So therefore, we are always protected by the Lord, not as per our calculation, as per God's calculation. That's one more thing which we should note. Not as per our calculation, but God's calculation. God has His way of protecting the devotees, and we have to wait to be able to uh, see what is the Lord's protection and arrangement. And have full confidence as per the Sharanagati principle. So I'll stop here. If there's any questions? Yes, yes. No, Brugman also struck in the same place, right? Therefore, Lakshmi, the sitting place of Lakshmi, Lakshmi became offended, insulted. So that's why she left Narayana. She left Narayana because Vishnu didn't take action on Bhrigu. Because two offenses is created. One is kicking the chest of Mahavishnu, who is highly honorable and respectable, number one. Number two, he's also insulted Lakshmi. Just like somebody is supposed to just occupy the throne, you kick the throne. How will you feel? Isn't it? So it's sitting place of Lakshmi and you're kicking on that, placing your foot. It is so such a big dishonor for Lakshmi. And she is not a small woman, nor Lord Vishnu, an ordinary person. It is very, very insulting. So she took it very seriously, although Vishnu didn't take it seriously. That's why she cursed. She said, I'm not going to spare this Brahmin. I'm going to curse him. And therefore she cursed, no Brahmana will be wealthy. I will not give any wealth to Brahmanas. That the curse, it stands current even today. At least till end of Kaliga, it will go on. After that, it will close. So therefore, Brahmanas in Kaliga will never be rich. If they become rich also, they will not be allowed to enjoy. It's like Lakshmi's curse on the Brahmana community. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, प्रभुपाद की जय.